everyone, this is Krisha from Third World Book Nerd and welcome to our channel. First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who made our first video a relative success. That being, thanks so much to all the relative friends and neighbors who actually liked, shared, and even subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you want to see more bookish stuff, discussions about being a third world book nerd, just like and subscribe to our channel. Today we're listing down the top 5 problems of nerds all over the country, aka the Philippines. Stay tuned. First book nerd problem is that books can be expensive. It may not be as obvious to some other people out there, but yes, books can be expensive, especially if you're a student. Buying something that costs like your whole weekly allowance can be tiring or tiring to your pocket. So it's actually quite a challenge to buy the books you want. Sometimes you really want to buy this particular book or this edition and you can't because you can't afford it. There's actually a lot of secondhand bookstores that you can buy really good books in. You just have to know where to find them. Which leads us to our second book nerd problem. We don't have access to a lot of libraries here where we're from. Yes, I know. It sounds weird. It sounds like an alternate reality, but it's true. We don't have access to a lot of libraries. They just recently opened the public library and made it available to everyone for 24 hours. But it's actually quite a recent development. So not everyone has a working library. People or students often get access to libraries when they're still in school. I was lucky enough to go to a school that had a really great library, hands down. It's the best library I've ever been in. It's so full of great books, references, magazines, and fiction books. There was one year where I had like five library cards. No regrets on that one, but a lot of people are actually not that lucky. There are a lot of kids out there who don't have access to good books, practically because libraries are non-existent. The good thing is there are now cafes that actually have books, so they call themselves like library cafes. So if you can just hang out there and go read the book you like. Still, it's a challenge for everyone. It would be better if we had a lot more working libraries that people can have access to, so that they can, you know, check out books for free, go read in their free time. I hope that the recent developments in our city library helps inspire other local governments to do the same, to put up their very own working libraries. So yeah, that's it. Book nerd problem number 3 is that you gotta prioritize other things aside from books. So from hobbies are just that, hobbies. Like what we mentioned in the first problem, books can cost a bit if you don't know where to look. If you're like really into books like me, collecting copies for yourself, some people might say why are you spending so much money on books? You could spend it on other more important things like clothes or actual food. There are a lot of people who are saying why are you reading so much? You know, it's not a hobby that a lot of people can understand why you're taking it so seriously or why you like it so much. So yeah, that's problem number 3. Problem number 4, book signings and tours. We have sometimes authors that come in and do book signings and book events. Still, being an archipelago, some people in other parts of the country don't actually get to experience what we have. That's the thing, you can't drive to these book signings. If you live in the next island over, you have to fly or book a boat to go to where these events are in, and it's really quite sad for people who are really, you know, big fans of these books or franchises or whatever, and they can't go there because geography. Are a lot of book fairs in Manila, the capital city. Have these little, like, giant warehouse sales where they get like 80% off and stuff, and you know, stuff like Big Bad Wolf books, they were here, MIBF. It's all very accessible to the people in the capital, but for everyone else, we have to, you know, watch in envy and cry ourselves to sleep because we can't go there unless we, you know, book a flight, which is another expense, and then have somewhere to stay, which is another expense. So add all those up, we won't have any budget to buy the books we like anymore. So yeah, people in Manila actually have it very lucky. In line with this, I would personally request the organizers, National Bookstore, MIBF, Big Bad Wolf Books to please come here to Cebu. There are a lot of bookworms who are wanting your love. That's true. Last but not the least is we actually don't appreciate our local writers that much. There are a lot of really good local Filipino writers who have their work out there, but oftentimes they get overshadowed by of course international books because these books are more widely known, but there are a lot of good authors out there, a lot of creatives who are, you know, keeping the torch burning for the writers, and I really appreciate that. I just wish that more people would recognize that we have really good writers, local writers, that we can also read and pay attention to and give as much love as we do our favorite international authors. Yeah, so that's it for our top 5 book nerd problems here in the Philippines. I hope that gave you more insight on what it's like to be a book nerd in a developing country like ours, which is kind of the whole point of my blog, thirdworldbooknerd.com. If you want to check it out, I have a longer list there. It's like 34 problems of book nerds in the Philippines, so you can go check it out. I'll put the link down below, and yeah, I hope you go read it and share it with all of your book nerd friends. That's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you want to see more book nerd content, just like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I guess I'll see you all next time. Bye!